Welcome. Today we are continuing on our Western Pennsylvania road trip here. We're at Oil Creek State Park. I did have something else planned to do before, but I may have to change gears here because there's a bridge out and the weather is very iffy. I hear thunderstorms and whatnot, so I was planning on doing a 10-mile hike, which from the book sounds absolutely fantastic. But maybe we'll just do some smaller things, see some waterfalls, some oil history. So this is where the first oil well in the world was drilled, was found, just below Titusville. I'll take you to that location. And of course it's, with being oil and, stuff like that, it's controversial. Is it progress? Or is it destroying the earth? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But let's go explore this awesome state park here. Another place I've never been. And I'll take you along with me. Driving and got some deer here. Driving to my first destination with some deer on the road. I don't know if you can see that. There he is. It is raining, so it's gonna be a challenge. All right, well, I think I'm in the right place. Little treacherous getting back here. I was looking for Plum Dungeon Falls, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit, a couple tenths of a mile, and see if I can find the trailhead. So this should be interesting. I have a raincoat with me. I got my map. So be adventure today here at Oil Creek State Park with the weather and just the these backcountry roads. So I don't know. Let's go hiking. Yeah, I think it's on the other side of this bridge, which I overshot. This is actually Oil Creek here. It's actually Oil Creek. I think the trail's on the other side here. A cool old bridge we're walking across. Gloomy, and it's supposed to rain off and on, so I do have a raincoat with me. You can see that we got some deer up here. I want to spook them. Let me stroll in. Alright, well, I found the trail I'm looking for. So I just had to go up a few tenths of a mile from my park. So we'll head down this way to the falls, check them out, and then we're heading on to something else. Yeah, the parking area is right there. I drove right past it. But this is definitely the trail. So let's go. It's been a pretty trail so far. Uphill to start, and it's leveled out quite a bit. It looks like this was recently cut. Of course, on my other hike, you saw the blowdowns. This was really cut from a storm. So, yeah, really pretty area, and it's there's dew on the trees, which makes it a little bit more beautiful dew, and a little bit of fog. Yeah, pretty. I love these little bridges in the woods there. So cute. Go over a stream. Even with the rain, it's kind of dry. It's been a dry summer, so don't know how big these falls are going to be, but we'll check them out. It's been a beautiful hike. So these evergreen trees, gorgeous. Alright, well, this sign is on the ground, so I guess we're going this way. See this falls. Don't know what to expect because it's been a dry summer, but we'll check it out. Alright, so I completed that trail. I walked up to where the falls was supposed to be, and I didn't see anything. So I may leave this footage in, and well, make cut it so if you see it, I left it in, and it is what it is. But it's a beautiful trail, and I don't think I'm going to spend too much time today looking for waterfalls because it's been a dry summer, and from what the population was saying, the Vista Center, the water flow is very low. So, but there's a lot of history here, so we're going history, history of the area, and see some other things. So, I decided to walk down the. They have a little bike. They have a little bike trail here near where I parked. But this was the site of Miller Farm, which is became the most important. It was a transportation center of the ore region, of course. So this was and this was the first pipeline, which back here, built in 1865. They put in an oil pipeline in here, and that's what the farm looked like about 1865. You can see there, and that's a little bit what the pipeline looked like. And it was 1860. The Indian Rock Oil Company purchased a number of land here, and a large. There's some good producing wells were drilled here, although they weren't as well as the ones drilled further down creek. And of course, when the pipeline was put in, it caused panic among the Teamsters who had previously hauled oil, because they thought that they would not be needed now, that they could do oil through a pipeline instead of hauling it by hand. So very small, and then its demise came when oil fields in nearby Clarion, Butler, and Armstrong counties were discovered, and then oil production declined here. So like most oil towns, they only lasted maybe 15-20 years at the most. So all right, let's check out the Drake Well Museum and Park. So this is where the oil industry started, and let's go find out about this. We got Colonel Edwin Drake, first oil well in the world. So let's go check this out. All right, here is a layout of the land, and then check this out. But the building over there with the steam, that's the actual well that was drilled. So we'll go check that out, and we'll walk around here. Check this out, birthplace of oil. All right, here's some of the different pumps that we used. Well, for gasoline. See how they've evolved over the years to what we have today. Different stuff for the oil stations, advertisements are all evolved. Alright, so here's a bunch of items, and all of them have oil except one. Let's see if we can figure it out. That does not contain oil. Figure out the correct answer is salt does not contain oil. Everything else you saw has oil in it. So in World War II, the U.S. government gave out these coupons for gas rationing, because gas was so they were rationing gas so the military would have enough fuel to carry on the fight. So these are the coupons that you would get for your gas ration. So they're done in 5-gallon instruments. So you can once that's done, you get anymore until next time to come out. So, piece of history there that not many people ever talk about anymore, but it's pretty neat. All right, here's a good example of how what's just one how tenuous the oil industry is. This is Petroleum City, was from 1865 to 1877, and it was an oil boom town in January of 1865 when Fraser Well struck oil. There were 57 hotels, a boarding house, 4 theaters, 2 banks, a daily newspaper, and a post office. Pipeline was built to carry the oil to Miller Farm, and then as oil production dwindled, people and business moved to other towns. Today, Petroleum is only a city with only grassy streets and cell houses. So here's a good look. So that's what Petroleum City looked like in 1877. And this is what it was in 1895 when everyone had left. Look at that stark difference. There is a drive, I don't know if I'll get out there, but you can drive out there and take the historical walking tour, but that's crazy how it was just like the gold rush out in California. Same thing with the oil rush. Alright, so these are some of the safe that the speculators kept their money in. John Bangham made millions of dollars, $1.5 million annually from his oil wells. But he didn't trust banks, so he kept them in a safe. Very similar to this one. And of course, robbers broke in this farmhouse, tied him up, and stole almost $500,000. The robbers were caught, but the money never recovered. So, fascinating history here on just getting all your money and putting it into a safe like this because you don't trust the banks. Alright, so here's a good look at the temperature at which the oil is refined. So you have petroleum gas at the top, it's at 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and then gasoline way down, kerosene, gas oil, fuel oil, and all the way down is asphalt and bitumen, which is 900 degrees Fahrenheit for asphalt. So that's no joke, making asphalt. And fuel oil is at 850 to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And it tells you what these are all used for. That's used for ships and factories, surfacing roads. Gasoline, plastics, and chemicals is, of course, gasoline. So that's how it's distilled, and it's the different temperatures. Pretty fascinating. All right, so August 27th, 1859 is when Drake struck oil. He began drilling in May of 1859, and at 69.5 feet in August, he struck oil, black gold, as they say, and that changed the world forever, because as you see, we use oil for just about everything today, in the products we make, in transportation. Alright, a very good museum about the history of oil and oil production here in Pennsylvania and around the world. So before Edwin Drake hit the oil well, everyone was prepared to use kerosene as the main fuel source, but it was a lot more expensive to produce. So what happened is once Drake hit the well, then people knew they can grab it from underground and could get it out much more quicker. So we're going to take a look at the original well that Drake hit, and the girl at the lady at the desk at the Vista Center said if he had drilled like a half inch to the right or to the left, he would have hit either water or dirt. So he picked the the exact spot and he struck oil 9.5 feet down. And say the rest is history. So let's go see where history was made. This is the building is replica, but the well that he did is actually the well. So let's go check it out.
Get it classified as a fossil fuel, he can be awarded those credits for that classification, whatever he was working for. So he hired the scientists and the professors to do the research and come up with that conclusion and testify that yes, this comes from plant life and life, sea life and everything else. Now, with that said, go down another 5,000 to 10,000 feet and get the same thing out of the ground.
Yeah, where's that come from?
Yeah. How'd that stuff get all the way down there? So, that forms the question, is it a fossil fuel produced from plants and animals, or does the earth produce it?
I was going to say the earth produced it, because you got a volcano.
That theory comes into play. Now, that goes back to when I give the story of how lucky Colonel Drake was by picking that spot. I've had several people say, well, maybe it was divine intervention more than luck, because look how society has benefited from what the earth has given us. The building itself was built in 1945, and it's a board-by-board replica based on the photographs of John Mather. You saw his display there in the museum. The building and well site is on the National Registry of Historical Buildings and Historical Sites. What that means is every board in this building has a number and a size attached to it. So if a board has to be replaced for any reason, we have to replace it of exact size. No substitutions. Doesn't sound like a big deal. Well, one board there behind you, sir, is about 25 inches wide. There's one on the back of the building that's about 27 inches wide, or a little more. Now, technically, and if you look closely, the boards have to be put on with nails that represent handmade nails like this one. This is one I made in my own forge. No modern nails like this whatsoever. Now, they can be manufactured nails, but they have to represent it. Nothing that looks like this in the wood. That wouldn't be historically appropriate.
Sure.
Now, what we have in front of you is a 6.5 horse steam engine, and that represents what Colonel Drake had purchased. We know what he purchased because we have his ledger in the museum, and he noted that he ordered a Lindell and Murphy style steam engine from Erie Ironworks. Erie Ironworks is now Zurn Industries in Erie. He paid $500 for the 6.5 horse steam engine and behind the wall 500-gallon wood-fired boiler. And that's how we heat it today. This particular engine was built in 1985 and installed in 1986. It has steam at both ends, so it's powered in both directions. Comes with a fly ball governor to keep it running at that lightning speed of 25 RPM. That would be the same speed they would use whether they were drilling or pumping oil. The real workhorse or the real power is this flywheel. This flywheel weighs 907 pounds. Pretty hard to get stopped once it gets moving. The power is then put into the pitman arm up to the walking beam. At the far end of the walking beam, down in the well, the exact spot that Colonel Drake and Uncle Billy drilled their well, we will be pumping pure 100% Pennsylvania grade fuel. Once I take off on it, get it under control here.
What's oil today? $80 a barrel?
I haven't looked. I think to look that up every day. I think it's going back up.
So why aren't you selling oil anymore?
Why? Because when we pump up, we right back down in the casing. It closed up. But that oil does come from the Clintock, number one, the world's oldest producing oil, down in South Philadelphia, 15 minutes down the road. That well was drilled in 1861.
So you're still getting oil down there.
Alright, that was awesome. That guy was super cool, and seeing the well run was great. So now over here is the monument that marks the exact spot where they drilled. So let's go take a look. Alright, so this spot right here marks the plot where, through the foresight, energy, and persistence of Edwin L. Drake, the first well was drilled for oil on August 27th, 1859. Oil was found at a depth of 69 feet. This great discovery inaugurated the petroleum industry. So, changed the world with that discovery. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the Drake Well Museum. We're going to check out this other hiking path that the lady in the Vista Center told me about. It's about 1.5 miles down to, surprisingly, another waterfall. So let's see if this one is any better. And then there's also some historical things we're going to check out too. So come along, let's see if this trip is any better. Alright, definitely check this out if you're ever in Oil Creek State Park. It's well worth it. It's a fabulous part of not only Pennsylvania history, but a history of a very, very important resource that we all use today. So definitely check it out. Alright, crossing the train tracks here. We're just going to look. Make sure there's no trains coming. Alright. And we're going to be following the yellow blazes here along the way. Alright. So the Girard Trail is a long distance trail. It's about 38 miles and it goes around the perimeter of Oil Creek State Park. And a lot of the trails on this, a lot of the trails there have to have used part of the Girard Trail for their thing. So we are gonna go up this way, check this out, and see where this leads us. So this trail here in this lane we're on actually belongs to the Drake Well Museum, which is state owned, so it's public land. So we're not in Oil Creek yet. We're past the boundary up here, but we are still technically on land owned by the Drake Well Museum. So I don't know, just want to get all my logistics and stuff ironed out here. But beautiful trail, lots of mountain laurel today. Yesterday and today the mountain laurel is bloom. That's why it's called the Pennsylvania State Flower, because all over the place. So let's continue hiking. Alright, so something we won't get to see today is what was the center of the oil boom here, which was Petroleum Center. It was, to say it was the Wild West would be an understatement. It wasn't sanctioned by the government, so they only had, they didn't have any kind of court system. They just had a sheriff, and then you know, they had saloons, you know, brothels, you know, you name it. It was pretty much, like I said, pretty much the Wild West, and that was the center. That was the center of town. There was a historical place over there by the Vista Center that you can explore. But I just ran out of time today. Logistically, this park's a little bit difficult right now with the bridge out. So you got to kind of go up and around. So it takes a little time to get to these destinations. But that's definitely a spot you want to check out. In fact, one of my subscribers and guy was, Maxim Outdoors did a great section on the Petroleum Center. So check out his channel and his video to get a good look of what that town was like. I'll put the link down below. All right, we got a little bit of a vista here. Not too much, but enough. It's pretty nice. See the creek way down there at the bottom. You can see Ore Creek. Move this way. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better look there. All right, yeah, that's not bad. That's a nice little view. You can see Ore Creek down there, through the gorge there. So very nice. Here you go, the most spectacular waterfall you ever see. Oh, it's very dry. I guess on a wet day, this is flowing a little bit more, but that's it. This is the waterfall on the map, and there's nothing down there to. All right. Well, that's it. That's what you get. So we'll go back. We'll take the switchbacks down and see the swinging bridge. I definitely know there'll be a bridge, so that should be fun. But despite no waterfalls, it is a beautiful park, though. It's among these hemlocks and the ferns and the mossy trees and logs. Very pretty. Definitely a nice walk. This little forest, that's where I came from. That's very nice, but no waterfalls, but it's good. It's nice and cool in here too, so it's a good evening to be out. All right, we're gonna continue on this way. Yeah, nice fern-covered canopy here. Almost stepped in this guy. Sitting right here on the trail. Cute little guy. All right, there's a remnant of the ore industry and the people who lived up here. Not sure what that was, but it looks in pretty rough shape. Let's go over here. Let's walk over here a little bit. I'm not gonna go down there, but kind of look down in there. Yeah, that could have been somebody's house. Oh, there's a path down there. Looks like there's some sort of support structure in there. But I don't know. That's pretty cool though. Alright, came up on the swinging bridge here. This is railroad tracks. Look that way. That way, no trains coming. All right, we're gonna cross. Oh yeah, that's nice. This is what these bridges look like when they're not shrouded in fog. If you saw my my Taiwan video, you would know what I was referring to. Oh yeah, it moves up and down. Ooh, that's kind of weird, actually. Beautiful Oil Creek. You can hear that. Alright, so I talked to a lady at the Vista Center, and she pointed me to this spot that many people might not know about. So she said that most of Ore Creek has recovered from all the oil mining up here, except there's one little patch. You can see how desolate it is. There's just one little tree growing up there. And the smell of oil and like sulfur is very, very prevalent here. Actually, I smelled the trailhead before I saw it. But yeah, all of Warrior Creek has recovered except this little area here. This must have been really heavily mined. Oh yeah, you can smell the oil coming from here. Absolutely, it's very, very pungent the farther over here you walk. Yeah, there was something here. Some sort of building was here. But yeah, if you're in Warrior Creek, come check this out. It's off the so if you're hiking it's off the main the Warrior Creek Trail, which is a biking trail, and there's a little marker there. You see the pathway, but yeah, this is wild. This is the only part of the park that hasn't recovered from all the oil mining days. Very, very interesting. Over here, some oil over this way too. Oh yeah, it's definitely strong over here too. Alright, to get to this side, I'm going to tell you, if you're on the rail trail here, that was the town of Bogdon. You can look for that sign and this post marker. S 2 miles. You can go right up that path, and that path will take you. You can kind of see the white area back there. That's the only part that was covered, and you'll probably be able to smell it before you see the trail. But that's what you look for. If you can't find that, you want to look for the sign that says Bogdon. So. Yeah, an interesting part of Warrior Creek that many people probably don't know about. So check it out if you're here. It's pretty cool. All right, I am back in the parking lot and I am worn out. Ended up doing about 8.5 miles, a loop. Very beautiful, very beautiful trail. You're walking along the creek a little bit, a little oil history. Definitely recommend this park. It's a beautiful park. A lot of history here, as I mentioned. But don't come for the waterfalls, or else you will be disappointed. Unless especially if it's a dry summer. So, but other than that'll do it from Warrior Creek State Park. Tomorrow's adventure will be exciting. It's the reason why I am on this West Coast trip. It's the reason why I came out here. So you don't want to miss that video. But until next adventure, have a great night.